That's
that
awesome.
Thanos came out of nowhere.
I still never got feedback if any of you guys liked my apes intro.
I liked it.
I missed it.
It's
But
the Full House. It's Full House, but it's all apes.
Oh, awesome.
Okay,
All
okay.
right, I'll go track that down.
Yeah, see, I wanted to be surprised by these every time, so I haven't actually. I know you loaded them up, so I haven't
Yeah.
looked at all of them. So, all right, welcome everyone to the next issue podcast. It's been a little while, I think. It's been a couple of weeks, I think, since
2
we did
weeks.
something.
Yeah.
So a lot has happened. We'll be catching up with a lot of news and stuff. But before we get into all that stuff, right off the top, we have some very sad and very unfortunate news that dropped this week. And I'll tell you, I don't know whenever I've been like sadder to see something like this. Like I was really thinking about it and I was like, damn. Unfortunately this week we learned that Akira Toriyama, creator of Dragon Ball, among many other things,
Yeah.
passed away. It was a statement that was released by Bird Studio on March 8th. He actually passed away on March 1st. So they kind of held everything to, I guess make sure that his family and everybody was doing all right. But let me read the statement. I'm gonna read a couple things and then I'll go up to you guys to kind of talk about this. Dear friends and partners, we're deeply saddened to inform you that manga creator Akira Toriyama passed away on March 1st due to acute subdural hematoma. He was in age of 68. It's our deep regret that he still had several works in the middle of creation with great enthusiasm. Also, he would have many more things to achieve. However, he has left many manga titles and works of art of this world. Thanks to the support of so many people around the world, he has been able to continue his creative activities for over 45 years. We hope that Akira Toriyama's unique world of creation continues to be loved by everyone for a long time to come. We inform you of this sad news with gratefulness for your kindness during his lifetime. The funeral service was held with his family and very few relatives. Following his wishes for tranquility, we respectfully inform you that we would not accept flowers, condolences gifts, visiting, or offerings of any others. Also, we ask you to refrain from conducting interviews with his family. Future plan to commemorate gathering is not decided. We will let you know when it's confirmed. We deeply thank you for your understanding and support as always. So this is once again from Bird Studio. So I think it was on Thursday evening that I saw a tweet from like somebody retweeted this letter from Bird Studio, and I was like, you immediately the first thing you do, unfortunately nowadays, is go check if it's real, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, man, that was quite a blow. I'll talk about my experience with Akira Toriyama, but I know you guys aren't the most manga connected people, but obviously this you can probably felt the impact. When you guys heard about this? What kind of went through your head? We can go to. I'll start with Jeff, and then we'll kind of go around.
It did make me want to watch some Dragon Ball Z. I actually have zero connection with any of this. I mean, I have a lot of friends that watch it. I've just never been able to get into it. But I felt bad for everybody that was feeling the loss. I mean, it kind of reminded me of like when Stan Lee passed away.
Yeah.
So because I saw a lot of the same kind of reactions to that kind of thing. So I was like, obviously, this guy was a huge piece of a lot of people's lives. And I did start to learn a little bit about Dragon Ball Z because of it. So I was just kind of like, maybe I'll give it a shot. Yeah, it was sad.
Clay?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat. I didn't watch, but now I want to watch. Now I kind of want to read. Shelby's already put a couple of books on hold for me, and yeah, it's just wild because this guy has created an entire universe that so many people know and are aware of, and that are. It's just interesting to see the companies also start to put out tweets and honor him. So like I saw one from Archie this morning. So it was like, yeah, Archie and Jughead with the Dragon Ball Z. I think it's the cast. I think that was the.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just been different artists homages to that manga and anime and that whole universe.
Yeah. Josh, are you cooler than these two guys? Or did you watch a little bit of Dragon Ball?
So I can never claim I'm cooler than any of you, but no, I saw the news actually. A fellow comic scholar of mine on Facebook just posted R.I.P. Akira Toriyama, and I was like, oh god, like, you know. So because of that, I felt like I didn't have to go like fact check it. Yeah, sort of like as Jeff said, I was more just like, oh, this is really gonna hurt a lot of people. I was just old enough. I missed the entire Dragon Ball phenomenon, which is why. So my only associations with him really are many years later when he did Jaco the Galactic Patrolman, which I read.
Oh yeah,
when it came out, and I loved. I thought it was great. The very end of it has a Dragon Ball reference, and I was just confused. I think you had to explain it to me, Danny. I was like, "What is going on here?" I would say, I mean, for me, where I mostly knew him, and I didn't discover these until 10 years ago because I didn't play them at the time. But like all the video games that he did design work for, so like Dragon Quest, Chrono Trigger, those sorts of things. And so I kind of knew him more from that than I really did comics, which is weird. But yeah, it's a huge loss. I mean, just an absolutely, I mean, this may be an overstated, but when you just think about individual manga creators that have impacted the industry, it's basically the creator of Astro Boy, right? And then and then him. I mean, it's like and there are others, don't get me wrong, but I mean, they are like phenoms.
Yeah. So. Okay. I do want to go, as you guys mentioned, obviously Toriyama's work had great reverberations through not just the manga industry, but just like really all sorts of entertainment. So I wanted to share some of the responses from different manga creators and stuff like that. So this is from Ichiro Oda, the creator of One Piece, which is also a juggernaut in the manga industry. Oda says, and this is translated by his Reddit. So hopefully it looks like it's pretty accurate. It is too early. The hole is too big. Sadness washes over me when I think that I will never see him again. I had admired him so much since I was a child, so I remember the day he called me by name for the first time. On the way home from the day you used the word friend, for me and Kishimoto is the creator of Naruto. I remember being overjoyed with Kishimoto. I also remember the last conversation we had. I was one of those who took the baton from the days when reading manga made you a fool, and he also created an era when both adults and children could enjoy reading manga. He showed us the dream that manga can go worldwide. It was like watching a hero going forward. For not only mangakas, but also creators from various industries, the excitement and emotion of the time of Dragon Ball serialization must have taken root in their childhood. His existence is like a big tree. For the manga artists of our generation who stood on the same stage, Toriyama's works became more and more important for me as I got closer to the same stage. I even felt being scared. But I am just happy to see the aloof man himself again, because we love him on a blood level. With respect and gratitude for the creative world he has left behind, I pray for his soul. Rest in peace. May heaven be the joyous world he envisioned. And then like I said, I also want to talk. So this is Kishimoto's response as well. Kishimoto is the creator of Naruto, which is another one of those what they call the big three manga that kind of succeeded. Like they came after Dragon Ball, laid a lot. Other mangas as well, but Dragon Ball was one of the ones that laid a lot of that groundwork. Honestly, I don't know what to write or how to write about something so sudden. However, for now, I would like to express my thoughts and feelings to Toriyama Sensei, something I wish the world would have asked me someday. I grew up with Dr. Slump, Dr. Slump is one of his earlier works. It's really kind of what got him into Shonen Jump. It's a lot more goofy. I think if you're looking for a comedy, Dr. Slump is a great manga to jump into. But I digress. In the lower grades of elementary school and Dragon Ball in the upper grades, it was natural for me to have his manga next to me as part of my life. Even if I had a bad experience watching Dragon Ball every week, made me forget about it. It was a relief for me, a country boy who had nothing, because Dragon Ball was really fun. It was when I started university. It was when I was a university student suddenly that Dragon Ball, that had been part of my life so many years, ended. Felt an incredible sense of loss and didn't know what to look forward to. But at the same time, it was an opportunity for me to truly understand the greatness of the teacher who created Dragon Ball. I also want to create works like yours. I want to be like my teacher. As I followed in my teacher's footsteps and inspired to become a manga artist, that feeling of loss began to disappear because making comics was fun. I was able to find new fun by following my teacher. My teacher has always been my guide. I admired it. I apologize for the inconvenience, but I would like to express my gratitude to the teacher. For me, he was the god of salvation and the god of manga. When we met the first time, I was so nervous that I couldn't say a word. However, after meeting him many times at the Tetsuka Prize screening committee, we became able to talk as Dragon Ball children. I and Mr. Oda back to being children again when we talked excitedly about how much Dragon Ball was fun, as if we were competing with each other. I forgot how he looked a little embarrassed and smiled at me. Um, I have just received the news of the death of my teacher. I felt an even greater sense of loss. That when Dragon Ball ended, I still don't know how to deal with this hole in my heart. Now I can't even read my favorite Dragon Ball. I
Oh,
don't feel like I've been able to properly write this sentence that I want to convey my teacher. Everyone around the world was still looking forward to seeking your work. If Dragon Ball's one wish really comes true, I'm sorry. Maybe that's selfish. It's sad, Sensei. Thank you, Akira Toriyama Sensei, for all your enjoyable works over the past 45 years, and thank you very much for your hard work. We are sure that the remaining family members are still deeply hurt. Please take care of yourselves. I pray that Mr. Akira Toriyama rest in peace. So as you can see, like, and I'll get into the impact, I guess, on American comics as well. But like, these two are like titans of like the industry, right? Obviously, like Naruto is one of the biggest thing that's ever happened. One Piece continues to not only put out new content, Oda's still working on stuff, but like they've penetrated worldwide markets with like all these live adaptations and stuff. So it's really, I love reading how they felt when they met him the first time, right?
Yeah.
Um, like that's just a really, because we've all, I feel like we all have probably had that happen to us at some point in our lives where we meet somebody that we really admire, and
Mhm.
then also to be acknowledged by somebody that you admire so much. um I think it just, I don't know, I think it's very cool. It just really nice to read that they also feel like a lot of us would when meeting somebody that has had such an impact in our life.
Oh yeah.
um so as you can see here, like I said, Dragon Ball was kind of the lead for Bleach, One Piece, and Naruto. I also saw a lot of tributes from America, well, from comic artists. They're not all American, but they are comic artists from that we like. We have Daniel Warren Johnson saying that Dual Powerbomb wouldn't happen without Akira Toriyama's work. Belen Ortega, Dan Mora, Dustin Nguyen, Marcus Martin, Giuseppe Camuncoli, Jorge Jimenez, Bruno Redondo, Peach Momoko, like all these artists that we just follow their work currently, like they were all impacted by one man, and it is incredible to read and see. So yeah, I wanted to share that with everyone. I've been aware of Dragon Ball since I was, I don't know, probably like 6 7. Funny
Wow.
enough, the anime came out in '86, which is when I was born, but it wasn't brought over to, yeah, it wasn't brought over to
yeah,
Latin
yeah.
America until later. So like I've this is probably the thing I've watched as far as entertainment or a franchise or anything, Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Super, like all this stuff, it's one of the things that I've seen the most, I've enjoyed the most. I continue to watch and read. It's one of the characters probably drawn the most from Dragon Ball.
Oh wow.
Because when I was a kid, like you would just start tracing like Akira Toriyama's characters, right? Like as you draw, and they all look so cool. He has such a fun design ideas. So yeah, like it's still pretty sad. Like I want to revel in his work and I want to celebrate his work, because I think that's the best way to kind of deal with the loss. But yeah, thanks for letting me share that, and hopefully this will lead you guys to want to get into a little bit of that work and dive into. And if you need Akira Toriyama recommendations, let me know. Let Kyle know. Kyle is probably like, I'm sure. I mean, Dragon Quest is a big part of like stuff that Kyle really loved. So, but yeah. Do you guys have anything last before we move on?
Well, what's your recommendation to start?
Yeah,
with?
that was gonna be my question.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would definitely just go from the Dragon Ball manga. I think there's like 47 volumes total, which is not a lot when you think about like some manga, especially because it reads a lot faster. But if, like I said, if you want something a little funnier, Dr. Slump I believe it's only like 20 volumes. One of the artists we had on here actually had, who was it? Giuseppe Camuncoli had all 15 volumes of Dr. Slump. And you can read a lot of these on the Viz app or on the Shonen Jump app if you have access to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then of course, I mean, you can watch Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Kai, which is like the cleaned up version of that. So yeah, even 10 years ago, like when they started doing the Dragon Ball Super movies, which is kind of like when he came back and started doing some stuff. Like I was super excited because it was like, I feel like when Dragon Ball ended, we were all pretty sad, and then we got Dragon Ball GT, which is based on the characters, but I don't think everyone, like, he wasn't very involved with that. So him coming back and retaking the mantle, and he was still writing on he was still writing on the current manga, like him and Toyotaru, who is the artist and also another storyteller. So I haven't really even wanted to look into what's going to happen with the ongoing manga.
Yeah.
But if Toyotaro takes over, I think it'll be in good hands. So, but yeah, for sure, just watch the anime, watch read the manga. Like, there's so much out there that you'll kind of like start wanting to seek out more and more on your own. But I think Kyle can tell you a little bit more about Dragon Quest than I would be able to. So, cool.
Yeah, he's oddly at a baseball game.
Yeah. Which Toriyama loved putting baseball into his manga. Like, you know how the X-Men play baseball when they're in their downtime? Toriyama would love doing stuff like that too. So yeah, you'll see. I think as you guys read, you'll see a lot of things that you're like, wait, did this trope come all the way from like here? Like, is this trope in comics something that somebody was probably homaging? So yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, go watch some. You share those pictures. There's so much cool art too. Like, people are just like doing tributes and stuff, and it's beautiful to see.
Yeah, I do love seeing it in different styles.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't know what other creator, and obviously this is kind of morbid. I don't want to get into it, but like I really thought about like, who else is passing would have some sort of impact like this, and it's unfathomable. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for letting me get that out. I've been holding it for like a couple of days because
I was gonna say,
sorry, man.
Get it. So, all right.
I'm just thinking forward to what we have coming up later on. And I was like, there's maybe some irony in what our main topic is, but
yeah, for sure.
It's definitely a themed show.
Toriyama loves a good joke like that. So, all right, let's get into what we've been doing in our previously on next issue segment. Clay, I'm gonna kick it over to you. I love looking at the notes because I feel like these guys could probably hold a show on their own if they needed to. Because when I look at the list, I'm like, we don't even need main topics sometimes. Like, there's so much we want to talk about. So, but Clay, go ahead.
Yeah, I took a big chunk of Hickman's Avengers run and dug in. It was great because like I went in, all of them, the volumes are numbered. So I was like, oh, this is great. This is like 34 issue run. This should do it. But I can go through one by one and say what's good and what's bad. It's all good. The only problem is when you get to like the first volume is fantastic because it's just Cap and Tony coming up with an idea to expand the Avengers, and that goes throughout the entire series. It's just like, how do we grow, and what are those challenges? The second book is
this the run where we have like a rotating cast of Avengers that they kind of optimize the team depending on what's going on, right?
Yeah, but they go through different challenges. Like here we get to meet the new Star Brand, and so they have the wide event that's bringing in some of the characters from Marvel's New Universe. For those that remember it, or who's ever seen a quarter box.
Yes, wait, Hickman brings, Jesus Christ, he loves bringing back old shit.
He does. And I kind of love that Starbrand is just this kid who has, like, it really is. It's like we have like an Omega level threat, and it's just a kid who just has inherited these superpowers, and he's just scared as hell. And like he's just accidentally killed a bunch of people, and who can talk him down, because it's not always about fighting, it's just trying to get control of the situation. So it's kind of neat to see Cap be the one leading the charge on that. Again, I remember
when Starbrand was announced, like people kind of saw the designs and they were like, Starbrand. Jeff, I don't know if you remember when that was happening live as these issues were coming out. I was like, what the hell is a Starbrand, and what's the new universe?
And Starbrand's been around since. Like Starbrand was in the Jason Aaron Avengers too. So
yeah, it's a neat character. I kind of love seeing where it's going, because like, he brings the character in new, and then also has like in one of the later books they go through the future, and he meets the next Starbrand who describes his death to him. So like he's been working as a hero for like a couple weeks, and all of a sudden he's like, I'm gonna die one day, and then she's like, oh, but it's beautiful.
Does Tony get to meet Spitfire?
Oh no.
Damn.
No, Tony's all over the place in this one. He's right. Really great. I will say though,
there is a Nightshade though. Nightshade
really?
Pop up.
Yeah, or Night Mask.
Or Night Mask.
Because he's the interpreter. Like he doesn't speak at first, and then so of course you get the the stuff that Hickman puts in all his books, the little codes, the lettering and stuff. So as soon as he deciphers it, you can go back and read everything if you want to, if it makes a difference. The third volume is fantastic. I hate getting into this because the fourth volume is where it all goes to shit. The fourth volume is part of the Infinity storyline too. So you need to have that miniseries if you want to read the trade. So, because it goes through and then it gives you a 1-page recap of everything that's happened in that event. And it's so much because it's Hickman. So it's incredibly dense of everything that's happening.
That's going to be my comment.
I was gonna ask if you were gonna take the detour to jump into the event, especially because Infinity's like, it's central to the run. It's not like something you can avoid.
Yeah, and I had read Infinity by itself and loved it, and it was great. But you have to read it with this, or every issue doesn't make sense. It's just all over the place.
It's even better if you read this and the New Avengers series and Infinity. Like if you read all three, you get all sides of the story, and then you're like, Jonathan Hickman, you're a madman.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Yeah, go ahead, because I was waiting.
That's my other complaint is this is just the Avengers run. Even though all the story takes place also in New Avengers, this is where the split starts to happen. So you kind of need to read 3 titles for this to be enjoyable. Otherwise, it's just reading random issues in a giant arc.
I'm out.
Yeah. That's the one that's going to screw it. And then I know that they're collecting the Hickman run, do they put them in order? Because that makes it, because everything I've ever gotten has always been like compacted to each kind of run within there. He wrote all 3 of these, so they need to be put together in that reading order.
I bet there's an omnibus out there that puts everything in the reading order. I can check while you finish off.
Yeah, please do so, because it's just, I was like,
there are definite, because I read this live as it was coming out, all 3 runs, and then I've read it since then, but I've had to go back and Google the reading order, because it is like Avengers, Secret Avengers, Avengers, 2 issues of Secret Avengers, like.
Yeah, I put a link in there that has the Avengers run that has a good breakdown of where it starts going from just Avengers into Infinity into New Avengers. And so it helps to have those in place for that one trade. The last 2 I have, 5 and 6, are fucking fantastic. These are just the most fun because it is an Avengers team from another dimension shows up, and they're a little darker, a little more evil. If you enjoyed The Authority when Warren Ellis wrote a darker version of the Avengers, this is along that same line. It's really fun because like things in it are like Bruce Banner has learned to control the Hulk, but the Avengers have put something in his head to where they can control him.
Oh my God.
And each one takes turn using him.
Okay.
So that's the level of evil they have. Oh, and then they have, it makes AIM look more evil and dangerous than they've ever looked in any other book. That's what I kind of dig about that, because AIM's always just kind of filled with like henchmen to be killed.
Until
right.
until eventually Roberto da Costa buys AIM or something, and he
does.
Exactly. This book is just a mind fuck. This is amazing. So we discover in this book that the Illuminati's back together, and they've had a meeting. And while having the meeting, the things they discuss, Cap is not on board with. So they wipe his mind.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and
cool.
in this book, he remembers and travels through time. It's such a wild mind fuck. It is so cool because it's the whole team of Avengers, and they call it, and it's like as they travel, it's like 10 days. What is it? Where is it?
Like, yeah, the Illuminati choose to wipe his mind. I remember that.
So what you find out is that happens at the very, like that happens preceding the whole run. So it happened. So like when you go back and reread it, and you read that first Avengers book where Tony comes to Cap and he's like, we need to build a great team. He's planting the seed. He's like replacing the memory kind of sort of. He's like distracting Cap because they had just wiped his mind. And they were like, we need to keep him busy so he doesn't, get into our business. So,
and from
that's how
that
he gets him set
to this volume, it just goes through time travel. So it says like betrayal plus how many years. And so you meet future iterations of Cap, of the Avengers that show up. You see a future Hawkeye, and they're all kind of traveling in this box because he's destroyed the time stone. So it just will happen until he meets Kang. And then he's able to stop it. But it's so good. Like this was like so great to read. And then I got mad because this goes from volume 6 to volume 1. So another volume that's volume 1 that does start putting the Avengers and New Avengers books together. There are 3 volumes of that series that finally corrects this. So you get to the end of this. There is no volume 8. You have to go hunt down to find the next one. Marvel, get it together. It's so hard to read your stuff.
I will say, not the fence of Marvel, and I agree. Printed they're very difficult. They're doing a really, really good job if you have the app to do. No, listen.
No, there's an app for everything.
Not everyone can go hunt down volumes, right? Sometimes it's easier to.
No, that's true. Hey, I'm totally with you. I would go this route.
Infinity, the complete event. This is like they have curated reading guides, especially for events that are like a decade old, like this one.
How much money do I have to give them to read their stories correctly? That's the problem.
I give them $79 a year to have access to this because it's cheaper that way to get Marvel Unlimited.
But
this is
like,
not counting the comic books that I buy on a weekly basis. This is just for the app.
Oh, but like then I was reading, so I'm reading Moon Knight digitally because I had everything saved, and then I had to go pull the books that they don't give you the codes for. So like there are 3 books in that whole run, and even one is
you didn't redeem them. You didn't go through the.
I don't want to go through the steps to have to redeem a book. You know, Marvel. That's the worst. That is the worst hoops to jump through to get something that I've paid for. If you don't want to give it to me, then just say no digital available. But don't sell me on the idea and then say, okay, well, now you have to go here and do this. And, I don't want to have to go through the mechanisms of your bullshit to read a comic book.
I'm not making excuses, but like all these paper shortages and changing printers, they really fucked up all that stuff because you're like, every week, I don't know which titles I'm getting codes for.
Yeah, exactly.
And which codes I have to redeem. Now, granted, I go through the extra process to redeem everything because I want to have them digitally.
I do as well.
I have them digitally until they tell me that I don't have them.
Exactly.
Well, and what also ticks me off is like I was going back through my library on the app, and I realized there's 1 week or something way back when I missed going through the hoops, and now it's just too late, right? Because they don't show up in the drop down list anymore, and I'm just like, well, fuck. Now I don't have a complete. Like I have it in.
They should. Well, I guess. They should. They keep stuff there. I think up to 6 months, if I'm not mistaken.
Really? I feel like I go in it,
and if you don't see it, you can write it in, and then
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because I have had the same issue where I'm like, or sometimes for whatever reason it doesn't show up on that Wednesday when it comes out, but it's out the next day.
Right. I've had that happen too.
It shouldn't be like this. I agree. It shouldn't be like this, but I'm gonna get my damn free digital comics. God damn it! Even if 3 months later I can just read them on the app.
Right.
Like,
right.
But I also
I have a question. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just mad using that because while I was reading, I knew the 3 books that I had to pull, and so then I get to one issue and tried to go to the next issue, and it wouldn't let me, and it was like I didn't have it, and then I had to scroll. I had to basically back out of every menu, go into my inventory, find the book itself, and then open it that way because the next issue thing wasn't working within the app.
That's what I just at that point I just reboot the app on my iPad and then just go look for the next issue myself. I'm not backing out.
Billion-dollar movies, a dollar store app.
Oh, trust me.
Billion-dollar movies, dollar store app.
None of that budget goes to the comics part.
Wait, hang on. You're calling it a dollar store app, but that app is basically what Comixology used to be before Amazon fucked it up. So it's actually a pretty good app.
It was a 5-star app at Comixology. It is a 1-star app
prior to
Marvel.
But
because as much as they fuck it up, it just really when you get to like really cool pages that aren't necessarily paneled out, it has such a hard time going in sequence, which, have someone proof those because it looks like AI just kind of does a scan of where the panels should be and then just goes on.
I'm giving Clay the bees because Jeff been wanting to say something for a minute. Jeff.
Well, I was going to say that this Hickman run on Avengers, I think all totaled up is roughly around 100 issues or something like that. Do you, with going into something like that, where it's going to be like this is a run, but I was looking at the solicits for Blood Hunt, and there are 55 comics that are tied into that event, I think, altogether. Does that scare you guys, or is that like, bring it on? I'm going to spend $800 over the next 3 months. I don't know how. I haven't done the math. I guess we could do the math on that.
On event books now, I'm kind of becoming the fan after the fact. I don't want to buy them when they come out. I'm never going to pay full price for that. I don't need to know what's going on immediately in either universe. But I do enjoy some events and going back to them. We'll talk about Battle World. I know Josh has read some of that, and that's revisiting, Secret Wars, the original Secret Wars. But like Jason Aaron's War of the Realms, fun, had a ton of tie-ins, so many tie-ins. But I want to kind of collect them after the fact. You know, I'm not going to pay full price. I can pick them up at a half price books or a $1 box somewhere down the line, and then do a full read through. But it was also a mini series that stood alone without having to read all those. It would be fun. I mean, who doesn't want to read a standalone book of the Punisher killing trolls in the sewers of New York? I mean, that's fun as shit, you know. But it wasn't core to the story. So,
Okay. All right, Jeff. Since you're already kind of talking, you want to tell us a few things? We'll come back, Clay. I know you got more stuff. I know you read more than Avengers.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh my.
Speaking of Avengers, I'll talk about the latest issue of Avengers, the Jed McKay Avengers, number 11. Are any of you guys reading this?
I'm reading the title, but I'm not there yet.
They have inherited a giant sentient ship, so they're out of the Celestial, and their new home is a giant city. They call it the city, the impossible city, but it's like a giant spaceship that is sentient. And in this issue, they bring in Jarvis to teach the city ship, the sentient city ship, how to like cook the Avengers meals, like their favorite meals and stuff. This is just a super fun issue because it's Jarvis just teaching a ship how to cook, and then the Mad Thinker has shenanigans and whatnot. But I just enjoy when they bring back Jarvis. I think really it's
what is everyone's favorite meal?
They have them in here.
Yeah, I'm like really curious. Like, what is Cappy? What is his go-to like food that maybe is nostalgic for him? Steak and potatoes.
Utica greens, a recent favorite of Miss Maximoff. And then he has Carol. Oh, he likes Thor likes boar and mead.
Yeah,
there.
Tony talks about how he can't have any gassy foods because he's in the Iron Man suit, and so Jarvis had to concoct a special diet that does not make him gassy. Carol likes Korean style wings.
Now we know why the Armor Wars was canceled.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
They just need to design butt flaps.
You know what's really interesting? That when this book started, Black Panther was still like the Black Panther that we all kind of know and love, but he's been since then, like he's become a street level hero because he's been ousted from the throne of Wakanda. There's a lot going on in the Black Panther series that I'm not fully caught up on, but I know that he's more like a street level vigilante right now in Wakanda. So it's really cool that they kind of keep that on here as well. Like they still, like the Avengers still include him in activities.
Yeah.
You know?
And they're doing a good job. So they reference like the Fall of X stuff that's happening in this book too, and they do kind of talk a little bit about Black Panther.
Should we do anything about that? No.
They're like, we'll get to it eventually.
It'll resolve itself.
Also read this is the one of the variant covers for Doctor Strange number 13. This is a great book because basically Doctor Strange plays D&D in this book. There's
reading it.
They talk about how somebody created a Dungeons and Dragons game back in the 80s, but actually tethered magic to it. I forget what the game is called. And so if enough people play the game, it will warp the walls between the two worlds and bring the fantasy world into ours. And somebody started playing the game and reality starts to collapse. So Doctor Strange has to go find a D&D party to put together to go infiltrate the world and win the game to get these people out and, you know, stop the universes from merging. So he gets Black Cat. He has the new Moon Knight person.
Hunter's Moon or
Hunter's Moon. It's
Hunter's Moon.
I think it's Hunter's Moon. I'm not caught up with Moon Knight. So, and he gets Taskmaster.
Perfect.
He hires Taskmaster, and everybody's like, "Why'd you hire Taskmaster?" Because Taskmaster is like their fighter, and Doctor Strange is like, well, he's gonna be the guy, like in the rules of the game, he's the guy that just takes all the beatings and whatnot.
He's a
And
tank.
he's like,
yeah.
and we wouldn't really matter if we lose him or whatever.
And
And
he
so
probably
the whole
he probably rolls real well.
he loves it.
probably.
Like in
Yeah.
the game, Taskmaster's like, this is amazing. He's like, no guns, it's just sword play. I love it. I just get to kill things freely because it's all fake. And
Yeah,
when
what
they
kind of
finally find
advantage would he have in every role? Because he would know their moves after, like, as it progressed. It seems like
as it
he would
progressed.
get advantage rolls with
Or
every.
or do the dice rolls actually disrupt his ability to know that? And so he's actually like genuinely fighting, right?
Oh, I
That
like
could
that
be.
idea.
Yeah.
Ooh.
When we get to the end of the issue, they do find the kids that were playing the game, and their dungeon master is Baron Mordo. And that's how the issue ends. And I'm just like, I am so glad that I'm still.
I wish they had done him as a little dungeon master character, like from the cartoon.
Yeah, that'd been awesome.
Little Baron
Jeff-
Mordo.
I gotta ask: has anybody throughout this story said the word Jumanji?
Nobody has said Jumanji
Because
yet.
it feels like a missed opportunity to
Yeah.
put that there.
Well, there's still an issue to go. We don't
Okay.
know what's going to happen next issue.
God, I knew I shouldn't have bounced off this. God damn it. All right.
It's
I'll
This is,
read
also, is this also Jed McKay? It's still he's still
It's also
writing?
Jed McKay. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
Jed McKay. He's hot. He's hot right now.
I was having a hard time getting into his Avengers run because I just didn't know what was happening. But in the last couple of issues, he's really started Jed McKay's really great at just character interactions. Like
Yeah.
that's if he could just live there, like that's where I love.
And
Uh,
those characters from the first arc of Avengers are part of this whole blood hunt thing that's happening in the summer.
And Jed McKay is the lead writer
he's
for
the writer
Blood
on
Hunt.
that.
I might just
But-
pick up the main series and then just
It's all set
whatever,
up. It's definitely all set up for Blood Hunt. I think that first arc, and then like we're
Yeah,
gonna do
oh,
a
yeah,
few other
yeah.
things, and then we'll come back to it. Yeah, so good. Okay.
My final Marvel. Can I do
sure.
one more Marvel comic? She-Hulk, number 6, Rainbow Rowell. The best thing about this book is you think they're introducing a character named, I can't remember her name, but they do leave you the clue to start digging through the back issues because we've introduced somebody in here.
Wow.
And I love it when the comic itself breaks the fourth wall. Is where I'm loving.
You're like,
They're
hey,
like,
you
hey,
know,
readers, go do it.
Is there a collected graphic novel of the Jack of Hearts?
Oh God. I mean, there must be, but
You would.
I'm pretty
think,
sure
but
I
I don't
only-
think they ever did.
I mean, he was. I mean, through the 80s and 90s, he was.
He had
just
a mini series. He had a 4-issue mini series, didn't he?
Yeah.
yeah. Was that
The
in the
main thing-
80s or was it later?
I think it was in
91.
the 91.
Oh, 91.
the
all
main
right.
thing I remember from Jack of
Basically
Hearts.
the 80s.
The main thing I remember from Jack of Hearts is that he was the reason that the Marvel Zombies happened. Like eventually,
Really?
it's revealed that he was sent back with the virus from like another dimension or something. I don't remember. It's been a long time, but it was like, but that page is vivid in my head where it's like Jack of Hearts. I guess because of he can store energy or something. Like I don't know. his
Yeah.
He
powers
absorbs.
exactly, but
he
yeah,
absorbs.
Like gamma radiation.
Yeah, that was cool. Like I think it's Marvel Zombies 5 where they do that reveal, and it all kind of loops back to like the beginning of Marvel Zombies. So very cool. Okay.
I don't see a trade available online.
Jeff, I guess we can stop there since that was all your Marvel stuff. Josh, I'm gonna hop it over to you. I know probably Clay will jump on with some of the stuff. I might jump on with some of the stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah, I figured all you guys have probably read most of this. So I was sick for like 2 weeks. So I had like 3 weeks of comics to pick up when I went in last time. So and then I sorted them because of course that's who I am. So
How dare you be organized? What's wrong with you?
So stuff I haven't gotten to yet because I was kind of savoring it are all of my upcoming Energon Universe issues that I'm very excited to read and catch up on.
They announced 2 more series.
Oh, did they?
Oh,
2
yeah.
more main series. Scarlet and Destro. Is it
Destro.
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 Yeah.
Who's drawing?
I don't know. I just saw the covers. That's a good question. We can find out and then come back to us.
Okay.
Knights issue 5, which again they continue having the Spotify lists on the back. I like that.
I believe we just got recently the first trade for Knights.
Oh, read it. It's so good.
Yeah, so if you guys want to jump on that, it's on our files.
But what I read, actually, that I had time to read before today, and again, I haven't picked up my books.
Sorry, Josh, I did just add also the latest Petrolhead. We also got the comp for it.
Awesome.
That is a beautiful book.
It is beautiful, yeah.
When they go on break, I'm gonna reach out to Rob Williams because he's in the UK, so I think he would have the schedule maybe to hang out with us in the morning on a Saturday.
Yeah, it's 6 hour difference.
But right, so it would be his evening. His evening would be when we'd be starting the show, right?
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe it's easier to do that than to wake him up like we did Josh Trujillo.
Right. I'm so bummed I missed that. But at least Josh was here. That's the important thing. So I did read Fire and Ice issue 6. Yeah. This wraps up the series, which I got to say I'm kind of bummed about. It's a fun series. And I like anything with Ambush Bug. Anyone else read this?
I did read it.
You did? What did you think?
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I kind of wanted it to be. I needed it to be a little sillier, I think.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah.
DC has so much that's going on that's all fire right now that I feel like not fire and ice, but just straight fire. Yeah. For me, it kind of got lost in the middle of a whole bunch of other great stuff.
Agreed.
Yeah. Which
like if it were competing with like Birds of Prey and all this other stuff, I probably would have loved it a lot more. But yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, and that's kind of my complaint about the entire, because it's not even on here. The entire Dawn of DC thing, right? Is that there were all these great titles, this Doom Patrol, that just seemed to fall through the cracks because I get they were trying to kind of reintroduce like characters that are not the Trinity, right? Yeah. But because those other books are kind of like gangbusters, this stuff just they didn't promote it, and there was no through line for any of the Dawn of DC stuff. It was just like, hey, here's a random like series, go read it, right? And it's like,
yeah,
the fuck. So yeah, anyway, definitely do yourself a favor if you just want like a quick, fun, fast read. Pick up Fire and Ice. Welcome to Smallville.
And Josh, if you want more Ambush Bug, make sure to pick up Blue Beetle #7.
I know. I saw the cover and I was like, shit, I think I need to pick up Blue Beetle. So I'm really hoping Clay is reading this. Beware the Planet of the Apes issue 2.
Yes, I am.
All right. So I'm really enjoying what Marvel is doing with this ape stuff because rather than picking, I feel like the new or the old, they're doing both, but they're also using the comics to, I think, very brilliantly fill in the gaps. So this fills in the gaps between the original Planet of the Apes and beneath the Planet of the Apes. Yeah. And it's kind of brilliant. Like, it's really, really good. The characterizations are great. They bring back Nova, which, let's all be honest, she really needs a character arc other than being the pretty mute human who has to deal with Charlton Heston, you know? It's good. It's really good. So,
but remember, Charlton Heston still made out with the monkey.
He did. Good for him. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, the first run of that, the first Planet books kind of deal with the last set of movies. Yep. This run is dealing with the classic movies. Mm-hmm. My hope is their third series maybe deal with Kingdom when Kingdom comes out.
With Tim Burton movies.
Wait, plural? Dude, it's
yeah, they'll just pick off. They'll like start bringing in Beetlejuice and
Beetlejuice on Planet of the Apes.
Actually, all right, Clay, I have to step back. Is this between the first two movies, or is this after the second movie, and it's going to set up how they go back in time?
Yeah, I know, because it does have like Zira and Cornelius in it. So
it has.
I don't know. It could be between the first I thought it was between the first and second, but
No,
it
you're
makes
right,
sense.
because of course there could be no between the second and third because the second ends in a very specific way. So
Yeah.
you're right. Okay, yeah.
But because it does end like right at the bomb.
Right.
Spoilers for a
spoil it,
very
yeah.
fucking old movie.
Now going back in time a bit, and I know you're reading this too. Secret Wars Battle World, which I want to give props to. It's 4 tight issues. All right. Here's the thing I love, and I want to give DeFalco. I almost said Stern. I want to give Tom DeFalco huge props here because I think we've seen this kind of move recently where a lot of classic comic writers are coming back and revisiting stuff. And what DeFalco does here that I thought was really brilliant, I'm going to spoil it slightly. I'm sorry.
I don't think it's a spoiler if you tell how it comes about.
Well, I would say it is. I felt it was, anyway, the entire time of this, there is a sense that these other Beyonders, right? So you only hear them in voiceover, that they keep referring to the Beyonder as, oh God, what's the term they have for him?
Like an idiot. He's a lesser than.
Yeah, exactly. But then they also seem to be suggesting, because from the very first moment this begins, Spider-Man just appears somewhere. And so there is this sense that they're testing Spider-Man for something. What they reveal in this, and it's very clear because the entire time it's after he gets the symbiote costume, what they are testing is the symbiote. And what I really love about this is that it is DeFalco basically setting up Venom long before Venom ever comes around, right?
Yeah.
And I thought that was brilliant, right? Because it's a really, really cool idea and a way of kind of finally tying perhaps one of the most iconic moments from the original Secret Wars into the future of Marvel Comics. Anyway, it's a great read. It's really good.
Marvel was like, how do we retcon that Todd didn't do this?
There is that. There is absolutely that. Yeah. Now, in the same vein, I'm really excited they're finally reprinting facsimiles of the original Secret Wars. So I picked up issue 1 and 2, and I will probably get all 12. Because holy God, does this take me back, right?
Cool. So fun.
Look, unless you're like Clay and mine's age, I still don't know your age, Jeff. I don't want to age you up. This is what shopping for video games was like in the mid 80s, right? It was like, this is one game, but here's how it looks on all these different consoles.
Yeah, I don't think you rarely saw commercials unless they were like Saturday morning cartoon video game commercials, because they didn't run during normal primetime hour. They weren't like done during like big events because video games were still such a niche thing back then. Yeah.
But still, I'm reminded. I remember trying to reread the OG Secret Wars maybe 10 years ago and really hating it. For me, rereading it now, it's much more of a kind of nostalgia kick than anything. I will officially say Jim Shooter, not a good writer. I don't know how the dude ever became editor-in-chief of Marvel. Let me just say that.
Intimidation.
Yeah. Well, he was a teenager. I mean,
he was tall and he just kind of looked down on everyone.
You know, they say that tall people are just more successful by like, they just.
That's true. Yeah. Statistically, they're more successful.
Yeah. No wonder I'm not successful. And then finally, did you guys talk about Joker Year One?
I did.
You did? In just like a video?
Yeah, just gonna what do you think of it? What did you think of this? The Year One.
I loved it. I thought there's no way this is going to be good. And the first issue left me a little cold because I was you know, but it's partly due to I really like the fact that Zdarsky is kind of taking the broad strokes of Batman Year One, which is like we have Gordon and a corrupt GCPD. Right? And then we have this other stuff happening. And he kind of finds a way to tie all those together with this Red Hood gang, which was really cool. The other thing I just want to point out, and I have to find the one panel. Hang on. Shifting between the two artists.
Right. Sorrentino and Camuncoli, yeah.
Yeah, this is some of Sorrentino's best work. I mean, I read oh fuck, what was the series? Gideon Falls, thank you. And I really liked him there. But I just want to point out, and I'm gonna cover the bottom because I want to reveal it to you guys. This page, all right, is some amazing, like, oh, it's just so good. And then you get this shot.
Whoa.
Which I am pretty sure is going to give me nightmares. Sorrentino and this story is just knocking it out of the park. And it really, like, typically that's hit or miss, right? When a story has like two different artists. But the other thing I found really fascinating is it's shifting between this Year One story and then all the Sorrentino bits are a current story. And the fact that this entire team, Zdarsky, the two artists, make this story work in 3 issues is kind of phenomenal. Like there's a little bit of me that wanted just a tiny bit more, like 4 issues I think would have been great. But there's nothing wrong with the 3 issues. I mean, I think I just wanted more time in that world.
Yeah. I think we'll probably revisit it, especially the future timeline has to be revisited.
I think so, yeah.
The
when I saw that,
yeah. Sorry,
go ahead.
I was going to say
when I saw that, you go.
Go. the past timeline gets picked up in the next issue immediately. So, Jeff,
I was going to say when I saw the that Joker popping out of the water, I straight up thought that was a photo at first. I was like, oh, they dropped a photo.
Me too. Yeah.
I think Sorrentino painted that, like actually painted that on canvas.
And there's
having like a big frame of that over your couch or something.
This again goes back to why the fuck is DC not making posters of this shit, right? Like, for the love of God, I would love to have that framed.
That should have been a cover.
The original.
Imagine that cover.
That would be a great cover, like a wraparound kind of thing, almost.
Yeah.
My favorite, not my favorite, but this current issue, the issue that came out right after the Joker, like the first panel is Batman is like, so that's how that happened. That's not what he says, but it's such a funny, like, we come back to our.
Oh man,
it's such a funny, like, sitcom thing, kind of, sort of.
So
also, I enjoy that. I'm sorry. You can really start to see where Chip Zdarsky is like the threads are starting to come together now, and how all this goes back to the Night, whatever that miniseries that he did, stuff. So like all of this is now starting to tie together.
Yeah.
Now I'm, it's really starting to get real.
See, I didn't pick up any of that, and I think it's still a huge credit to the story that. Not knowing any of that, it still holds up. It's still solid. So
yeah. Yep. All right. Let me talk about a few things. Then we'll do a speed round to close out all the stuff and move on. So my favorite thing that I read this week, Ultimate X-Men #1 by Peach Momoko. Holy moly. It is fantastic. There's just like, I'm just going to show you this. Like,
wow.
It's I love Momoko's style, but the story in here has like these tinges of horror in it, which is really cool. It's set in Japan, so even if it's tied into like all this Ultimate Universe and Ultimate Invasion stuff, this is still kind of a story that stands on its own. And I love Armor. Like, I think Armor is a really cool mutant and a really cool power.
Yeah.
And the fact that we start with Armor as this kind of like central setup, obviously we're probably. It looks like we're going to introduce more people just from looking at the covers, but man, the Ultimate Universe is shaping up to be really freaking good. I don't know if this is what it was like when it first launched back in the 2000s. But man,
everyone
very excited.
everyone I remember reading it was just like, well, it seems just like the same. Like, I mean, it was just them but younger. It was like, we're gonna get Peter Parker, but he's younger, and then the big twist was like, oh, but like his friends know now, and Aunt May isn't really that old, and you know, it's just
hot.
very.
It looks like Marissa Tomei.
No, not Marissa Tomei hot.
Okay.
I mean, she's still a granny. I'm trying to think. Like the X-Men was really weird because it was just this super young team. Even Logan was really young looking, and then they like gave up on it. Like I think into like the second year and just made him look like regular Logan. Like I don't remember anyone being super excited about what was happening other than the creative teams that were on it, like Bendis doing Spider-Man and doing it his way.
If Marvel like had to only slim down to 3 titles, and it was these 3 titles from the Ultimate Universe, I'd be like, I get it. I get why you picked these. Yeah. The Spider-Man book, the Ultimate Spider-Man book, is the best Spider-Man I've read in years.
What?
Years, like yeah.
Don't tell Zeb Wells that.
Granted, I don't think the past few years have been the best Spider-Man with Spencer and Wells. Like, there's good stuff, but
wow,
100% agree. 100% agree.
Hot take there. I'm gonna put that. So yeah, get on. If you're new to comics, get on board with the Ultimate line. You can jump in right there. All the other stuff you can go search it afterwards.
And Peach Momoko's art is just fantastic. Like that, I kind of want to get the book just for the art.
You should go back and read while you wait for this to get collected. Read Momoko's Demon Days. I'm sure that's
I have Demon Days. Yeah.
Okay, good, excellent. The other thing I read this week that was really, really cool. I read a bunch of stuff, but like the really, really cool stuff. The Last Ronin 2 Re-Evolution. The turtles are back, but these are other turtles. These are the turtles we met. Have you guys read The Last Ronin?
Yep.
Okay. If you haven't read The Last Ronin, slight spoiler. We're introduced to 4 new turtles at the end of that series. And then I didn't read The Lost Year, so like I don't know the turtles. I made a couple of videos, and a few people pointed out very kindly in the comments that 2 of the turtles are actually girls. Yi and Moja, they're girls. So I didn't get, because I didn't read the other series. I got that wrong, but it's really cool. Tom Waltz and Kevin Eastman again writing. We got the Scorza brothers and Ben Bishop on art. So you got like different art styles once again. And then just getting to know the turtles, seeing the fights, like the main art still feels here. I'll pull up a page just kind of out of context, but like this just looks like 90s art that's been kind of a little bit upgraded to more contemporary feel.
Yeah.
My only issue with this was that there's a lot of double spread pages, and I think that might be hard to follow if you're a new reader, because there's a lot of like narration boxes. So,
right.
Like, if you're just getting into comics and you're like getting into the groove of like how to read the boxes in the right order, if you get all these double spread pages, you're like, where do I go? Especially because I was reading the review file, and that's like 1-page PDFs.
That's what I was about to say. Like, if you're trying to read this digitally, that's going to be. I mean, unless it's guided view.
Yeah, I think the version you purchase, it's a lot better, but. The roles are defined for these new turtles, and it leaves with a really great cliffhanger that came out of nowhere for me. This isn't the main cover, but this was one of the ones that I thought was really fun. There's so many covers of this, of course. It's oversized, prestige format, not magazine size, just prestige format, where it's a little taller.
It looks like a good copy.
It's nice. It's very, very nice. I really enjoyed it.
But the Last Ronin 2 also sounds like the Never Ending Story Part 2. It's like, why do we have sequels to the last thing?
Yeah.
That's true.
The
just
last
a couple.
ish Ronin.
The last ish. Just a couple of quick, Birds of Prey, really good. Continues to be amazing. The next issue of Batman. Hopefully, Josh will catch up on that one. You're not going back. You're not reading it. You just
I
wanted to
mean,
read year one.
no, I guess if there's any downside to it is it didn't compel me to want to pick up the next issue.
Okay.
Like again, it feels like this little
Oh, interesting.
kind of like not bookended, but like this little story within.
Yeah, like self-contained. Yeah. Blue Beetle #7. I mean, we talked to Josh Trujillo about it, and it's great. Especially all the love to Keith Giffen, like really fun stuff. Marvel printed this. This is a free book you can get. The Marvel must-haves. It has a cover of Deadpool and Spider-Man, their series. But there's a lot of things in here. There's a Thor story. There's an X-Men story, and it should be free. So if you see this at your shop, just grab it. Some really fun stories. They reprinted this in foil and in regular.
Oh God, the foil cover.
Wow.
Batman and Batgirl. What is this? Oh, I guess this is Batman and Batgirl. I don't know. 41. I don't know what's special about it.
Oh, it's the first appearance of Hugo Strange.
The Statue of Liberty.
The Statue of Liberty. No, it said in the description. Oh, hey, the Planet of the Apes.
Oh yeah.
Oh no! It's the first comic appearance of Ra's al Ghul.
Ooh. Oh, okay, cool. Oh,
yeah,
nice. Well, now I'm really glad I grabbed it. The last thing. What if aliens? What if
I did a what if
Carter Burke hadn't died?
I saw this. Oh. Yeah.
Here's the best part, and you guys are gonna hate me for it. I've never seen Aliens. It is the one.
Damn.
It is the one Aliens film
what
I haven't seen.
You've seen all the others and not Aliens,
dude.
Oh my God! All right. Well, we know what we're talking about next week. Holy shit!
You haven't seen Aliens? Wow.
Wow.
That really old movie, Aliens?
It's easily the best one. I mean, you've seen all but the best one.
Yeah, you've seen the bad David Fincher one.
I mean, does the comic make sense? Yeah, I mean, do you know?
Yeah. So that's the good part, right? It's really well done, where they explain everything. And so I've seen the next Aliens, which kind of tells you like what happens at the end of the second one, which pissed people off, right? I do know that. And this is co-written by Paul Reiser, who played this character as well.
Right, yeah,
it's written by a whole bunch of people too, like Adam Goldberg, who's like the producer of the Goldbergs and the creator of the show.
Is it funny?
Huh?
Is it funny?
The book?
No. Is the comic funny?
No. I don't think. I mean, no, it's not a comedy.
Well, I know, but I'm like, those are comedy people. I thought maybe they'd be.
Yeah, I know. That's true. Well, although I really hated Goldberg's. Jesus Christ, the cleanup crew.
Damage Control.
Thank you, Damage Control.
Yeah,
when he brought that back, it was not good.
Oh yeah, that wasn't any good.
Yeah, I mean, his TV show is a great sitcom, and it does the premise great, and it does great nostalgia. But yeah, I know he's been making and producing other great things that we've enjoyed because he's done documentaries on He-Man and the toys we grew up with and things like that he's been listed as a producer on.
Yeah, this is really fun. Like, look at the art. It doesn't have to be like they didn't need to look like the characters, but they do a good enough job where I was like, oh, I know all these people. Like I've seen enough clips of Aliens to like understand what's going on. So,
when I get a good film adaptation, I want like Phil Noto doing that because he can draw them so close to reality.
The artist is pretty good at getting like close enough. Who was the name of Guia Villanova?
Oh, nice.
I'm excited to keep reading this. I definitely want to watch Aliens to kind of finish that up, and because we have I know it's great. I understand.
How did Alien 3 make any sense to you?
So I mean, they the first 5 minutes of that
they
movie
explained it at the beginning. I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's been a long time. So,
and funny enough, you guys are gonna hate this too. So I watched Aliens. Alien. That's I think that's the main one, right?
Yeah.
And I had seen Prometheus and Covenant, like the more recent ones, and then I went in reverse order because of different episodes of my friend's podcast. So like I watched Resurrection, or whatever the basketball one is.
Yeah,
Which
Resurrection, the basketball one.
I like that one because of all the people that are in it. It's not very good. I understand that
It's
a
not
good
very
movie.
good.
The
Yeah.
David Fincher movie is also not very good.
Yeah, and
I
he
think
won't
it's a cool
return to
concept.
do cleanup. Like I have the Blu-ray box set of that,
Yeah.
and the CGI is so bad because he won't return to clean up
Yeah,
anything.
I
in
also
that
learned there
film.
was a lot of that movie that was out of his control.
Mm.
So like he came in to take over the film, if I remember correctly. How did the comic make sense? That's a good question, Mike. So the writers do a really good job with exposition in the comic to fill you in on like where we are, what the stakes are, and then from there, I think there's probably a scene where Carter Burke goes off and tries to hide from the xenomorphs, but instead of him dying, like he kind of does hide and gets away, and that's kind of like that's your entry point. That's really the only part of the film that you get to see in this comic, because everything else is this new what if scenario that's going to be probably like 4 or 5 issues. So I don't know. Aliens is doing really good stuff with. I mean, Marvel's really doing really good stuff with Alien franchise.
Yeah,
You know,
I read the
we
first
could
one,
make
loved it.
we could make Danny watch Aliens, or I mean, we could still do that, and we could all watch. You know how like Star Wars has different ways to watch all the movies. We
Oh
just
yeah,
watch the Alien franchise in the Danny version.
I'll
So
put
we had
together
to
an
watch
order.
all. Yeah,
I'll
you
put
gotta watch
together
the
an
Danny
order.
order.
Not if
put
it
together
includes
an
the new
order.
films.
And the corresponding podcast episode of why I listen to it.
Please tell me you don't like Prometheus, because Prometheus is not good.
It's fine. I don't hate it as much as people do.
So which one is your favorite?
Oh, Alien, the first one.
Yeah, the
Alien.
first one.
All right.
It's
That's fair,
the best
yeah.
one.
I still have a hard time getting through Alien because it scares the shit out of me.
Yeah. Like it's one movie for 45 minutes, and then it's a different movie that lasts half of it, and you're like, holy shit. We should do an Aliens episode later on.
Yeah, Shelby, that
when I
was
watch
a
Aliens-
one. When growing up, she said that her brother would call her into the room just when the chest burster would happen, like just all the scary scenes.
That's awesome.
All right, let's do some quick hits because I want to stay on time. I'm gonna just tell you some really good things you should watch that I have watched recently on TV.
I was very proud of one of these.
Mhm.
First of all, I finally watched The King of Comedy.
Nice.
Yes.
Excellent.
Fantastic film.
So
Amazing.
fucking good.
It's beautiful. Martin, I have a full review of it.
Did it add to the Joker for you?
Yes, very much so. It cemented why you needed to cast Robert De Niro in the role that he was cast in
Right.
Joker.
Yeah.
Also, go listen to I Read Comic Books. They have an episode on King of Comedy, which is the reason I watched the film. I also watched the film Dancer on Netflix. I have a review for that upcoming. It's fine.
Okay. All right.
Fine.
IGN's review tore it apart, but it looks really amazing. Like I kind of want to check it out.
They're being harsh. I'll check that out before I shoot my review and see if I disagree with some stuff.
Okay.
The new series, Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman. I watched the first episode. I love Guy Ritchie, so like it's fun. It's based on his movie. It's a spinoff of his movie. So if you like the movie, you're gonna like the show. And then the best thing on TV right now, in my opinion, Shogun on FX, Hulu.
I need to watch this.
It's like all the cool things about Game of Thrones, but also set in feudal Japan.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really, really good. So
okay, I'm gonna check it out.
Clay, you want to do some quick hits? I know you got a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah, let me go through some of these real quick.
And you guys are on bat, Jeff, Josh, if y'all have anything else to wrap up the previous one.
Avengers Twilight. I've read the first 3 of these. It's going to be my pick of the week, so I'm going to talk about more about it later because it is, and that's with reading Hickman's Avengers. Like I loved Avengers Twilight so much. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love Batman Offworld. Jason Aaron doing Batman, and it's just about what he will do to win. Like, what does he put himself through? And it even takes into account of him just kind of throwing himself in front of the villain to find out how he fights, just so he can take the L and defeat him later. Like, the way that book is mapped out, I love it. Oh, yeah, and I finally got caught up on Moon Knight. I finished the entire Jed McKay run. I loved all of it. The ending was okay. He kind of has like dual villain thing, and it was all right. And then we go into the Vengeance, which is kind of has what McKay does well. All the characters that you've learned about in the first Moon Knight book are in this, but without Moon Knight. So you have Hunter's Moon, and then another Moon Knight shows up, and they haven't quite figured out who it is.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, and then Rise of the Power of X. Just because I got a Scotty Young cover and could jump right into the middle of the Fall of X. I kind of dig it. I hate that I like get excited about the things I read in it, because then it makes me want to read this 42 issue collaboration event thing that's all over the place. I'll just wait till it's done, but it does look fun as hell. You want me to jump? You want me to jump into movies real quick?
Yeah, hit your movies real quick.
Aquaman 2.
We're actually we should do an episode on that one since it's on Max now. Josh, I don't know if you've seen it. Jeff, I think you've seen it, right? No? Okay, well,
I still haven't seen
we'll
it
plan that out.
I will watch both because I still haven't seen the first one either.
Quick thoughts, Clay?
Uh-oh.
Okay, that says it all. Perfect.
I think that if we would have gotten this movie in the 80s, we would have liked it.
Oh yeah.
That's a low bar, my friend.
That is a low bar. So if you like 80s comic book movies, this is kind of right around where it's at. It is Jason Momoa wanting to be Eddie Murphy in 48 Hours so bad that he forgets that he's Aquaman, and Patrick Wilson being the best Aquaman in the movie. He is fucking wearing the Aquaman suit. He looks like Aquaman, and he acts like Aquaman, and he may be the only reason to really watch it because he's pretty great. Jason Momoa is just Jason Momoa in this movie. So really, Jason Momoa is a DC character now. he rides a motorcycle. He dresses like Jason Momoa does in real life. There's other than when he shows up in the suit, like he's just kind of being himself.
Right. Save it for our full show.
Yeah, I can go on. I rewatched the Stan reboot, so you don't have to. It's just it is, and I hate to do this, but like you want to go Stephen King. Okay, you're doing it wrong. Let me tell you how to write Stephen King. Because it is the first 5 episodes is like a guy who saw the original Stan or read the book telling you about it, and then going, oh, wait, I forgot about this character. And then going back to have to tell you about another character before you encounter them. The whole, if you enjoyed the original miniseries with Molly Ringwald, Gary Sinise, watch that. I mean, it's shorter. It kind of gets to the point. The big thing about this was they were going to change the ending. Yeah, they did, but it's still what was in the book. So bottom line, go read the book. It's fucking phenomenal. It's one of my favorite Stephen King books, but he actually takes the addendum that's in the books and films it at the end. So that's kind of what he does. And
I thought this is how you wrote Stephen King.
Well, you do it on cocaine, apparently, because I mean, I love Maximum Overdrive more than I love this. And it just really bummed me out to watch because it's really a waste. It's almost like you said, I cast a Hollywood version for The Stand because you have Whoopi Goldberg, you have James Marsden. James Marsden plays East Texas. They have a whole scene where they talk about his accent. He has no accent. He is just funny. Being James Marsden.
He's the Olive Garden guy.
The only time, oh fucking shit! I just kept going. Cyclops is in the Apocalypse. Amber Heard's in it. Ezra Miller's in it. Just people I don't care about.
All right, Clay, you're gonna get the beat. Hurry up.
Owen Teague is in this playing Harold Lauder. The thing I'm excited for, and I watched this entire movie for, was him because he is playing the lead in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. He does a great Harold Lauder. It's more accurate to the Corey Nemec portrayal, but yeah, he was pretty great. And really, it just, some of the best things that were in the first movie are in this. The wild thing is this has a lot of comic book people. Catherine McNamara, who we last saw playing Green Arrow's daughter, trying to get spun off in the CW universe. She plays one of the big bads in this, and she's really good at being evil. So I kind of dug
was in that Walker, Texas spin-off series from like the 1900s. Okay.
Oh, really? Wow.
Who are you, my students? Suddenly using the 1900s. Jesus Christ.
Well, like
But yeah.
early 1900s though, not like, or maybe 1800s. Yeah, I guess 1900s wouldn't make sense. All right, what else, Kyle? You got
I watched
2
the
minutes.
movie The Hunt. That is and it's such a such a Lindelof movie. It's a
Yeah.
great premise about liberals hunting conservatives. This kind of like urban legend, and I think her name Betty Gilpin is in it.
Oh,
as
yeah. She's great.
She's the best fucking part of this movie. Like, go watch it for her and the kills, because
She was good in Mrs. Davis.
she was great in that. She was great in Glow. Like, she runs this fucking movie, except the end. The end it's like every Damon Lindelof project ever. The ending does not land very well. It's just a big fight, and it's not even like taken to a high level of a fight you want to see. You know, it's just, but she's so great in it. The ending's just kind of meh. It's just a great fight. It's a meh fight. On the level of fights we can have nowadays in a movie like this, where you're blowing up people, the cool part is you just see a lot of people you think are going to be like the stars of the film just show up, and they just get popped and killed like right away. And then I visited an old Scorsese film, After Hours, which is really a wild trip to watch nowadays, where Griffin Dunn from American Werewolf in London goes to meet a girl that he met at a coffee shop at late night in New York, and what happens in that time period when you lose your money and you don't have a card, you can't get an Uber, you don't have a cell phone, and he's just trapped in New York, just trying to get home. And it's a whole night. And it really, like, I know a lot of people say don't really try to, when you make films, don't like timestamp them with certain things. With the technology we have nowadays, that timestamp just exists. So like when you watch a film and someone pulls up a phone, if it's a flip phone, you can kind of date it. If it's an iPhone, you can kind of date it. This is such a period of its time. But that's all I'm going to say. It's kind of a great watch, though.
All right. Jeff, you want to wrap up quickly with some other stuff?
I would like to thank the Academy. I want to thank my producers and my no. I gotta keep going. Superman 78, number 5. The reason I love this book, kind of the same thing that Danny was talking about with the aliens. The artwork doesn't really do it. I mean, like, you can kind of see that kind of sort of looks like Christopher Reeves, but not really. But it does a great job of capturing the essence of like the characters.
Yeah,
especially in the writing. You get to see Lex Luthor, and he kind of sort of looks like Gene Hackman, but you can hear like Gene Hackman's voice whenever he's talking. I was trying to find a picture of him real quick. That's what I love about this series. It's also just straight from the movies. If you love those Christopher Reeve movies, this is a great series to get into.
You got to echo.
Yeah. Danny already talked a little bit about Birds of Prey. One of my favorite comics. I just love the dialogue between the characters. I love that Barda calls Batgirl little bat or whatever.
Yeah. If this artist had been in that fill-in issue of the last art, I would have loved it more. It just meshes a lot better with Leonardo Romero's art.
Yeah, and I do kind of hope, it does seem like with each little arc they're gonna maybe just switch out artists. I guess I don't know if that's gonna work. My final thing is Deep Cuts number 5. This is this jazz book by Kyle Higgins and Joe Clark. My favorite thing about these issues, I can't read music, but every single issue comes with a written piece of music.
That's awesome.
With the issue. Yeah, and some of them, like, this is just a one pager, but some of them go on for pages and pages. I would imagine that's pretty cool for somebody that can read music.
Please, now that when I clip this, it's gonna stop at you saying I can't read. My favorite thing about this issue is that I can't read. Okay,
but the pictures are super pretty. I also saw Dune 2, May Your Knife Chip and Shatter. Beautiful movie. I don't know. You can't really say too much about it.
We'll definitely Dune it up once we all get to watch it. Because I I haven't even gotten to see it, and I'm very upset about that. But it is 3 hours that you have to carve out of the day, so
It's long, and I'm surprised that I got through it without having to go to the bathroom. So
I
That's
already know I'm gonna have to
impressive.
go.
My God.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
go at least
dehydrated
twice.
for a day and a half. So
Okay, I was gonna say I can barely go 30 minutes or this show without having to pee.
Yeah, took like 10 hydroxycut the day before. Like, just, like,
yeah,
Did you swallow all those desiccants you're not supposed to swallow when they come in?
oh yeah,
yeah. You just got to soak it all up, you know.
Yeah, totally.
just gonna wear a diaper. All right, Josh,
Yeah, I'll go pretty quick.
you better.
Conan the Barbarian, issue 8. I continue to love what Titan is doing now that they have this license. This is fantastic. They're kind of operating in 4-issue arcs. It's become clear now because this also wraps up an arc. But boy, howdy, does it end on a huge cliffhanger to the point you're kind of like, what just happened? So I'm really enjoying this book. It feels I hate to make the like there's the classic Conan and then like the popular Conan, but this feels very classic Conan. Really, really good. And I'm totally on board now with the change with Braithwaite as the artist. I will be intrigued to see now as the next like storyline starts if they're going to change artists again or stick with him. You know, it's kind of hard to tell at this point. There's only been 2 storylines.
Yeah.
But anyway, highly recommended. Kind of in the same vein, I was so happy to see this advertised. I never got to read this growing up, but as part of this heroic signature Conan line, Titan just released the first issue of the Savage Sword of Conan. And just to give you a sense, it is magazine sized.
Yeah.
Right? It is also, I have to find a page without nudity, all black and white. And I would say if there's it also, like the earlier storyline, it has multiple stories in it. Hang on, I'm trying to find it. Multiple stories. The main story is really long. It's like 35 pages. Like it's really long, but it has like 2-page short stories as well with art. It has a backup Solomon Kane story that's really great. So they're actually tapping into more than just Conan as one of the Robert Howard characters. I really, really like this. My only complaint, and I have a suspicion why they did this. Actually, let me go to the front. So, for instance, like there is a beautiful pinup here at the start of a Baylet, and the printing looks really weird. Like it's not kind of picking. Well, there it is. Kind of like that's kind of how it looks. It's very kind of gray, speckled, look.
I wonder if the digital version looks the same.
No, because I think they actually used that as one of the alt covers for one of the issues of this. But my suspicion for the reason they did this, and you guys might remember, if you ever picked up an old newsprint black and white issue like this, your fingers will turn black, right? The ink comes off really easily. So I actually kind of wonder if they intentionally printed it limited down a little bit, because I got done and I was checking my fingers and they really didn't pick up a lot of ink. So I actually wonder if they did a print process that limited the amount of ink on the newsprint so that it wouldn't rub off as much, and probably also save money. But it leads to some really weird kind of stuff. Like, God, this 2-page map at the beginning is almost illegible. Like, it's like you cannot tell what the hell is going on here. But anyway, I'm really excited that this exists. It's $7 for a magazine black and white issue that has, I'm trying to find the page count. There is no page count. It's easily 60 pages. I mean, it takes me back to those days when, like, you still had spinner racks. I would see all the comics I read in the spinner rack, and then I would look over to the magazine rack, and way up high would be Savage Sword of Conan next to like Heavy Metal and Playboy, right? So it felt very adult, and actually this has like nudity and sex and gratuitous violence in it, but so does this. So it's not like they're changing the stories at all.
It feels to me like it's almost similar to what the Judge Dredd magazine is, where it's just like, we're gonna print the best stuff, maybe we'll give you a new story. I did think it was funny when you opened and showed us that one, like that 2-story page or whatever. I was like, did Conan wrote an op-ed piece for the magazine? What's going on?
No, to that point, they're really intentionally bringing back what the old Savage Sword of Conan was like. So they actually have an introduction by Roy Thomas, who was instrumental not just in writing Conan for Marvel in the 70s, but was instrumental in developing the Savage Sword of Conan magazine for Marvel. And he actually says in his introduction that Titan has hired him to write new Conan stories for this. So they're really bringing it around. But there's some amazing, I mean, the big long story here is written by John Arcudi. Really big names. They got Howard Chaykin to do a pinup. Just really awesome stuff. And the art is phenomenal. It's really good.
This is a big trend in comics, like to go back to magazine stuff, like the what was it, the one,
Penthouse
Comics.
Yeah, like it seems to be like a good throwbacky kind of thing to do these days, to kind of make these kind of magazine comic things all over again,
which is weird because I made the point when Heavy Metal started only selling single issues of storylines from the magazine that they were reduced to normal floppy size, and it actually caused, like, there was a weird like banner at the bottom because it wasn't formatted for that size. It was formatted for a bigger page, and I don't know. It's but I'm glad to see the trend returning. And
bring
then
back a Starlog.
That'd be awesome.
Here's what we're gonna do, and Josh, I'll let you talk about those things more because I gotta step away for a second. But we're just gonna, we had a little bracket thing that Jeff prepared. I think we're gonna punt that to the next show. Since we went long, we had the whole Akira Toriyama thing.
Yeah.
So we'll finish out you guys talking about stuff, and then we'll watch maybe a couple of trailers to end the show and do recommendations. So as soon as Clay and I come back, but I know you got a couple more things that you want to talk about, and then Jeff, if there was something else you want to chat about, I'll be like 2-3 minutes and I'll be back. So
okay.
I was going to say before Josh continues, I do wonder. I'm curious about that ink thing. I would feel like the technology is there to not have it rub off on your, like the paper is probably a bonded paper, and I'm wondering if that's not is it paper?
It's pulp. It's newsprint.
Oh,
it
really?
is very intentionally not high quality paper.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah. So, but
maybe
go on.
That
I'm sorry.
thing. Well, I was just thinking if it was maybe it was a stylistic choice to kind of make it seem like something that had been faded over the years, kind of thing that maybe did not work out. But I did not expect it to be pulp, actual paper.
Now, I do also wonder if it's because a lot of the artists in this are kind of using. I'm not sure if this is. I assume it's digital in the original, but like a lot of these like halftones and stuff, and so I do also wonder if they're just setting the print level. I don't know the technology behind this, but I'm assuming if they're setting the print level in a way that accommodates all these black and white like halftones, right?
It could be that, yeah. I mean, because there's a lot of different tones in there that are gray tone, like scale wise. Welcome back, Clay. We're vamping currently.
Yeah, we are. Although, so all that said, a couple of things I've watched. I have watched. We finally watched season 3 of Only Murders in the Building, which was the first two. First off, it's good. I really liked it. I'm glad it's coming back for a 4th. They have a way of ending each season to set up the following season that you're just like, well, fuck, I can't wait now, But season 3 was the first one that felt very different than the first two, and I know the that makes sense because it is built around this musical, but it took me getting halfway through it to realize that what was different was this was the first season that none of the 3 main characters are threatened. Right? In the first 2 seasons, there's always a moment where it seems like someone's coming after them. And in this one, there isn't any moment like that. Like, they really are just investigating. They're not, well, they are, but I was going to say they're not fully part of the story. They are. I don't know. It's kind of hard to put my finger on, but it was great. And
did you know, I'm sorry, did you know that Martin Short is in Aquaman 2?
No.
I didn't either.
As what?
A fish man?
Is he doing a voice, or do you see him?
He's doing a voice.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's like a gangster fish.
Wow.
Wow.
All right. Well,
I mean, if that doesn't pull you in, I don't know what.
No, I am shocked and amazed.
The star of Clifford is in Aquaman 2.
Star of Clifford. I think that's the one you go with. The star of Inner Space. There's so many other options. So Only Murders in the Building. We started watching, and it's still airing. Shrunk the Octopus. we started watching The Completely Made Up Adventures of Dick Turpin on Apple Plus. It's an Apple TV exclusive. I saw it described as Our Flag Means Death, Little Brother, which I don't think is exactly a fair assessment because it's very clearly trying to be much more comical, if you will. But I'm blanking his name. It stars the guy from the Mighty Boosh, who is also the goth character from the IT Crowd.
Noel Fielding.
Noel Fielding, thank you. And he's playing Dick Turpin. And it is, if you like more of that kind of like British zany comedy, this taps into that a lot more. And it's fun. We've really enjoyed it. It is very clear that Apple was like, we want to give it the production values of Our Flag Means Death. I mean, it is beautifully shot, although it has a problem, and I can't figure out if this is our TV or if it's the show, because our Only Murders in the Building season 3 had the same problem, which is it's really dark. And like the first episode in particular is just like, I'm like, I can't tell if it's my eyes or what. I'm like, why is this so dark? But anyway, Leonard Kim totally nailed it. Robin Hood meets D&D. There is very much a D&D vibe here. I really agree with you with Our Flag Means Death. Yeah. But the big thing, and I just kind of randomly like, I recently upgraded my computer's Blu-ray player, so I've been going back trying to rip Blu-rays that I never was able to do before, and I finally was able to rip my copy of Superman 1 and Superman 2, the Donner cut. And I was sitting there last night thinking, I've never watched the Donner cut, and just threw it on. Wow, it's so good. I was saying to Clay before we started, I really expected bigger differences, I think, story-wise, and that's not the case. It's basically the same basic story as Superman 2. The key differences are you get much more character development and I think nuance than you get in the original theatrical release. The other thing I really loved, and I was saying this to Clay as well, is finally seeing how the turning back time was supposed to work. However, I don't think the end of that is exactly what it doesn't come across today, I think, the way that it probably did at the time, which is Superman just flies off after Lois says to him, your secret is safe with me. There's this very beautiful moment. Then he flies away. He's like, fuck it, I'm turning back time. And then just like time starts going backwards because clearly he doesn't trust Lois. And then the other thing as well is what I've described as the end credits scene, but it's not during the end credits, is the very last scene is Clark goes back to that diner and basically beats the shit out of the trucker. And I'm like, and he's also petty. So it's like a very different kind of ending, but still it's really, really good. It's a great movie. I'm glad it exists. I'm glad Donner finally got to put together the cut of his film.
And didn't need $90 million budget to do it. The inserts are just drawn pre-production stuff. Like
I didn't see any of that though. I didn't see any of these like drawing inserts. There was one moment. So the sequence where Lois finally finds out Clark is Superman with the gun is much longer. And it's very clear they used either like some test footage or something because Clark's hairstyle and glasses changed when they cut it over to him. But I had read somewhere that there were these like drawings or things in there, and I didn't see any of that in my Blu-ray cut.
Oh, see, I have them in mine.
It's weird in that scene, Lois empties the magazine in him. She just keeps shooting him over and over.
She holds it sideways. Yeah,
it's weird. It was a very interesting choice by Margot Kidder because they didn't even do that back then in the movie.
They didn't. Like, and then what's really weird is I saw there was a deleted scene I watched, and it was directed by Steven Spielberg, and the gun in her hand became a walkie-talkie. It was very weird. So anyway, that's what I've been watching.
All right, cool. So I don't know, Clay. I don't know if you got filled in because of the lack of time. We're gonna punt the bracket to next show.
Sorry, I went so long.
We're just gonna watch. It's okay. We had unexpected events come into the show too. We're gonna instead. Josh saw that there was a Fallout trailer.
The last Fallout trailer.
The last Fallout trailer.
We have to make sure we find the right one. I'll find.
Yeah, I got it.
Until there's a last Fallout trailer too.
I love your Google.
So, before we watch the Fallout trailer, are you guys fans of the game? I don't know anything about Fallout other than Walton Goggins is in this. So, like, I'm
a huge fan of. I've played the first two original games from the 90s.
Wow.
I've played a bit of Fallout 76, which is their live MMO version. I still need to play 3 and 4, but I love Fallout. And I'll say the thing this trailer does well is listen for the song in the background, because that is actually from the games.
Oh.
Yeah, I played 3, and I just feel like with the way things have been with like the Halo show and stuff, that we're not going to get a great, like Borderlands had Kevin Hart in it, you know, so like
I will be interested to see how you feel about it after watching this trailer.
Okay, yeah, because I just have low expectations for the stuff that these companies are putting out, because they're just buying IPs and slapping a story in it.
Jeff, are you Fallout person at all?
And I'm waiting for the Q*bert movie.
but did you watch the Q*bert cartoon show?
Oh, of course I did. Every Saturday morning.
Excellent.
Jeff was the only one.
Oh, now we're figuring out his age.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was like, what?
Jeff was the only one that went to watch Pixels at the theater.
That's right.
I remember in middle
comment. Guess Jeff's age and Josh's height.
Oh. I had a Q*bert watch. You could play Q*bert on it. That was the advanced technology of my middle school.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Brag. Look at me, everyone.
I'm going to look that
cool
up.
guy here. Elder ladies want to play Q*bert?
Hello, ladies.
Did anybody have a watch that turned into a robot? Did you have the watch?
I had that one. That one was everywhere. I dropped my robot in the toilet and then called my mom at work because I was horrified. And I'm like, I need to get my robot out of the toilet.
And then
gloves.
she said, "We'll pull it out." Like, just like I don't know, like I don't expect her to do differently.
Well, I think her first question was, "Had you used the toilet yet?" And I'm like, "Yes." She's like, "It's gone." Just
Oh, exactly. That's what Josh should say. Anyway, all right, let's watch this trailer because it's a long one. It's like 10 minutes.
it is.
long.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have warned you guys.
All right, here's the trailer for Fallout. I hear it.
Hello there. I'm here to show you a wonderful place. A veritable Camelot, the nuclear age. Not made by God Almighty, but the working man. You can be a hero by purchasing a residence in a Vault-Tec vault today. Because if the worst should happen tomorrow, the world is going to need you to build a better day after.
The mission of the vaults should be important to everyone. To come up to the surface one day and restart civilization. Can you tell me what's happened in the last 200 years?
Holy shit. You're an actual vault dweller.
I am.
I thought all you dipshits were dead.
What you're doing is insane.
I don't set the world.
It isn't like the vault out there. It's big.
Higher. I just want to start.
I've had a rough week. Practically every person I've met up here has tried to kill me.
I'm simply going to harvest your organs.
In my
To go home. You come from a world of rules, of laws. You should not be alone.
Why did you join the Brotherhood?
To hurt the people who hurt me?
People are going to come after you. Ain't much stage cleanup here, Volty. Well, now that is a very small drop in a very, very large bucket of drugs. Look out at this wasteland. Looks like chaos, but there's always somebody behind the wheel. What is happening here?
Everyone wants to save the world. They just agree on how.
There you are, you little killer.
All right.
What'd you think?
That was good.
I look forward to pirating it someday, like all Amazon movies.
Yeah.
I'm in for Walter Goggins. I mean, of all the stuff he's done, he's always the shining star in it. I mean, in The Righteous Gemstones, he's not even a lead, and he's the best part of that series.
Vice Principal,
Goggins,
same thing.
Principal.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he outshines Danny McBride. I mean,
I know, which is hard to do.
It's hard to do because Danny McBride is just being Danny McBride in these movies. But Goggins, man, turns it on.
Well, did you guys see Agent Cooper? He's in it.
Yes. Hello,
With oh man, I don't know. I am super.
Oh, I got a quick question. Sorry, I got a quick question, Josh, or I guess you guys that play the game. In the games, do you play as people from the vault? Do you play as those mech dudes? What do you play as?
So what they did, so in the original games, you play as a vault dweller. You're leaving the vault, you're going out into the world. I believe in 3, you're playing more of like the Goggins type character.
Well, you
Okay.
start as a vaulty, and that's
Oh, do you? Okay.
You get all the lessons and stuff, and that's like the tutorial of how to go
Okay.
through it. So,
But there have been DLC for both. I want to say Fallout 4 and for Fallout 76, where you play as one of the Brotherhood of Steel. And one of the things that trailer showed me was, I think they were like, how are we going to incorporate all these different types of experiences? So let's just have 3 different characters we explore. So you've got the Brotherhood of Steel guy, you've got the Vault Dweller, and you've got Goggins. And I think we're going to get everything from their perspectives. I'm just kind of guessing, but that's what that trailer seemed to set up. So
I think because there are 9 episodes, we could very well get like an intro episode, right? That makes everything, gives you the world. Then 3 episodes for each of those characters, and then 1 episode at the end that kind of coalesces all the storylines together. I have a lot of questions because there's timeline things that I have questions about, and
it looks
the world.
like you get Walter's origin.
Yeah,
I love that shot of the giant Jello cake type of thing, because nothing says 50s Americana more than giant Jello sculptures.
Yeah.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, and that's and that's kind of there is somewhere Chris Avalon wrote when the first 2 games came out. He wrote like a Bible for Fallout, but basically the idea is the nuclear apocalypse happened in like the 1960s. So the look and feel of the world is very like retro future, right? So
yeah.
George Lucas is gonna love this show. Cool. All right, let's do another quick trailer reaction, and then we'll do recommendations and get out of here because we've already run pretty long. So this one,
my fault. I just blabbed.
Yeah, no, it's well, I mean, it's not only
trailer.
This one. So this is your punishment, Clay.
Oh no!
Oh yeah! Yes.
We're gonna watch the Borderlands trailer. Actually, I haven't seen it.
You haven't? Oh, dude! All right.
I have to change my sign because it's been almost 200 days without a Kevin Hart sign in my house.
So I don't know much about this game either, except for that like one dude that's like pointing at his head.
Yeah, I played it.
So,
it's fun. It's
I
very stylized.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's check it out. Let's see what this is all about. I mean, Kate Blanchett's in it. How bad can it be?
God, I hate this planet. Would you look at that? A ladder! Unfortunately, my design doesn't facilitate this type of...
Well, destiny awaits.
Legend has it that there's this massive treasure hidden in some secret vault. And if you go hunting for it, you'd better take any help you can get. Because it's on the weirdest, most dangerous dumpster fire of a world in the universe.
God, I hate this planet.
What is that smell?
Piss wash gullet.
Ew!
Put the window up.
I don't want to! Roll the window up!
Roll it up. It's pee. It's pee. Why do you think it's called piss wash? How did it get the name?
It's in my mouth!
Do you Bobby
know
Lee.
how many people have
like
died looking for this vault? We have something they don't, baby girl.
Okay, what?
Major issues. Time to make it rain with your body parts.
What did I tell you?
Minimal explosions.
I said no explosions.
Step aside, bitches!
Ooh, mine's bigger.
What am I doing? I need an the gun, so you asked for it. There's only one of you in the world, and you're special. Uh-oh. Kill them all. What's happening right now?
I'm expelling the excess lead. I can't go if you're looking at me. Oops, actually, scrap that. I can. I really can. Actually, it's helping.
Are we really ready for this to finish?
Keep looking at me.
That was terrible. Like,
yeah, it's gonna be awful and yet a lot of fun. Is my guess.
Screenplay by Eli Roth.
Yeah.
No, that's it just. But if I'm here for Kate Blanchett. I'm here for the fact that we get Jamie Lee Curtis with a boob window. I am here for all of that. So,
how did they?
But
give
the
it
bad
ELO
things
song?
in it. Well, I think the ELO song was to try to make it fun. You know, we are living in an apocalypse here, but these are fun, a scrappy group of, people that we're going to put together with a wacky voiced over character. I mean, it's got Kevin Hart in it. I mean, that's just.
I just don't know how they convinced Kate Blanchett and Jamie Lee Curtis to like get in on this. But like, what was that mean? What do you think they were pitching? Also, I love that at the beginning from the producers of Spider-Man,
Uncharted, Spider-Man, and Venom.
Who claims Uncharted?
I know, right? Right.
They're making another one, so they had to have made some money.
Theaters.
Mike is spot on. Yeah, absolutely. Just take some edibles and then go watch this.
Yeah, I mean I really just look forward to taking a nap during this movie when it's on a free service in about 2 years.
What I will say is this movie reminded me of when I first saw that trailer for the Jumanji reboot, the Welcome to the Jungle, which I was like, "There's no way this is good. This looks like garbage."
Yeah,
and I actually enjoyed both of the Jumanji movies.
I've heard they're really good. Yeah. So again,
it's the only Kevin Hart movie I own. The first Jumanji.
I do kind of feel like Kevin Hart is maybe miscast in this, right? He's playing the like stoic, like straight shooter. It feels like so. I don't know.
Yeah, like he's not good. Like he's just not good, and I think I'm just having after effects from watching Central Intelligence because I've never seen a movie that's been as unfunny, billed as a comedy, with no laughs. I mean, okay, if both were good, yeah, but the first one was really a fucking home run for me. I mean, plus Karen Gillan in it.
I wish we had Jack Black physically in the movie.
Yeah,
that would probably that'd do a lot for me.
He's doing a lot of voice work lately. He did Bowser. He's doing this, and he's in the Minecraft movie.
Kung Fu Panda.
I wish that it would have been voiced by Chris Pratt. Is who I wish that the robot.
Holy fuck! I think Hollywood would explode if Kevin Hart and Chris Pratt did a movie. It would just be the biggest fucking turd I've ever seen. It would be live action Kevin Hart with a voiceover Chris Pratt as the wacky sidekick, and it would just be negative comedy.
All right, so
this is going to be my remember. So there was a pitch for where we would make our own Saturday morning cartoon lineup for our future episode.
Yeah,
and then Clay was like, "Create your own cartoon." I'm going to create a cartoon around Kevin Hart just for Clay. Like,
is it called Die Harter? Has anyone seen that?
Oh yeah, that nothing has made me not want to watch a movie more than.
I'm sure. All right, so quick vote. We have 2 live action video game adaptations. We just watched trailers for. Which one are you more excited about?
I'm just gonna rewatch The Last of Us first.
Oh sure, depress yourself, why don't you? Jesus.
No, I think the first one, Fallout.
Fallout.
More intriguing.
I mean, Goggins Goggin beats everything. Like
Yeah.
Goggins wins. I mean, if you had that choice, I would just watch Goggins just read random shit off the internet.
He does have that song. All I do is win, win, win. Anyways, never mind. Let's move on to that was me giving the beast to myself. Ooh, Gerard Butler, hell yeah! What? Give me some Gerard Butler. Gerard Butler should have been the Kevin Hart role.
Yeah, no, you're
Now
right.
that I would have watched.
See, that's perfect.
Do you think it's too late to just CGI replace him in the entire movie?
Nah, they did that with that Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey.
They would have to. The problem is that I think Kevin Hart and Gerard Butler take a different amount of space.
They're gonna shrink Gerard Butler, like CGI him down so he fits in that chair.
I want a tiny Gerard Butler.
Yeah, they're gonna like let us see. All right, let's get out of here with recommendations, and then I'll play a little something that will probably get us kicked off of YouTube.
Perfect.
Clay, what do you got?
Avengers Twilight. The first 3 issues are out from Chip Zdarsky, and it makes me love America, and I hate America. I was just really like, it is a 20 minutes into the future America where video recording is illegal. You can't take selfies. Everything is banned, but you have an old Captain America, an old Matt Murdock, and an old Luke Cage who are still, they want to believe in the dream. Cap is pretty much broken, but this whole story kind of starts to build him back with Luke Cage's help. And man, I love his take on an elderly Luke Cage. It's just really an awe-inspiring story. I just dig it a lot.
Issue 3 had like 4 moments where I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, just surprises kept getting bigger and bigger. So
yeah, I mean, Chip's going to another level with his writing.
Yeah. Nice. Jeff, you have any recommendations?
The Oscars are tomorrow. Everybody should watch the Oscars.
That's good segue. I'll go, Josh, since I'll jump in here. I'll be on my friend Rob Fishbeck's network. We're gonna stream watching the Oscars. So
nice.
I'll probably simulcast it here. But yeah, if you want,
don't forget to spring forward as well.
Oh yeah. Oh, gross.
I
thought we got rid of that.
That's
only
year, I think.
Arizona and Hawaii.
There's my evil villain origins. I take control of time to just get rid of this.
So, all right. And then Josh, you got any recommendations?
I'm just gonna go with pick up Seven Sword of Conan, issue 1. It's great. $7 of pure entertainment.
Awesome.
Nice. For the channel, we got a lot of fun stuff. I'll be dropping my own Oscars video. Oh, all right, fine. Bye, Josh.
Done.
I'll be dropping my own Oscars video of I'll be ranking the best the nominees for best movie. Oh, look who's back.
Sorry, I went to close a tab and I closed this one by accident.
Look who came groveling back.
Oh, I groveled. Let me tell you.
But yeah, I'll be dropping that on the channel. But my actual recommendation is if you've been looking to get into a trading card game.
Ooh, I am.
I'm excited about
this. I'm excited about this. Did it come out yesterday?
It came out yesterday. I've been to 2 pre-release events now where they gave you, you get this little box and you get 6 packs and some stuff and you learn how to play the game. It's so much fun.
Is it good?
It's so quick. It's very fast paced. I think there's a lot of room for casual play. A lot of the stores in the area are supporting it, at least here, in Dallas area. I was at an event yesterday as well in the evening, and I have a lot of product that I need to open. So we're launching a new segment, a new part of the channel called Next Issue Gaming, and you'll probably see some of that there.
I'm there, man. Let me tell you.
I'm not getting into this Lorcana, but I did buy some packs because I wanted to see what it was. Like the Lorcana, the Disney one.
The Disney one, yeah.
And I actually ended up pulling one of the legendary cards.
Oh, wow.
So apparently this thing is worth $50. So at least I'll get my money back on the packs that I bought.
Not bad.
So now I will tell you, don't get into these to make money. There's no money to be made.
No.
But if you get lucky, every once in a while you'll pull something. So yeah, expect to see more videos of that. Oh,
Do they have starter sets for the Star Wars?
Yes, they.
Okay.
Well, so the stores might be sold out. I would check maybe Common Grounds might have some stuff, or check local stores around you. But yeah, the starter set comes with a starter deck with, I believe, Luke and Darth Vader, maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, the game's really easy to learn. It goes very quickly, and it's a lot of fun to play. So if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I might see you around at some live events if you're there.
I might run out to Zeus later and then pop into Common Ground, see if they have it.
Yeah, they have a constructed tournament, so I'm sure they'll have some product today.
All right, cool.
So yeah, and it's not too prohibitive. Like the starter decks are like, I think $25-$30. So like you can at least get in and learn how to play online. So
is it 2 starter sets in one?
You get both starter sets in the.
Okay, all right. So I could just buy that one and then
I'll do a video on what's on the starter set later on as well. I did a video on what's on the pre-release set. I don't know if stores will. I don't think stores have those anymore. But they do come with some really interesting stuff.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, card games. It's another money hole there, though. All right, the last thing I wanted to show, and we'll go out with this instead of our normal thing, because I'll only play a few seconds of this because it's probably gonna get us copyright, maybe.
So,
but it's great. So I'm always down for a good time. Jack Black and Tenacious D, they covered Baby One More Time. So you guys have a good week. Bye, everyone.
Cool.
Uh-oh.
How was I supposed to know that something